My name's Yoshki Greenberg, and I really like girls. I'd say this was the wrong meeting for that, but after the audience demographic that we've discovered this evening, it's probably just the right meeting for that. It's a comedic device that's relied on quite a lot, but I do actually want to tell you something that happened to me in this bar earlier today. I made the mistake of telling a random drunk man at the bar that I was here to do some comedy for the first time. So he said, "Say something funny," which is of course anathema to anyone who is actually remotely funny. But he rallied, and the next thing he said was, "I hope people laugh." Now, I hope that when people jump out of aeroplanes, their parachutes deploy. But you don't find me walking around the airfield, pointing this out to people. It's not what you do. Another thing about accepted comic wisdom is there has to be one legitimate human penis joke. Plastic will not do. So I feel like I'm at a bit of a disadvantage already. As we know, this is the first weekend that we've had a lot of sun. It's a very exciting thing. Everyone's got their legs out, despite whether it's a good idea or not. I'm not going to pass judgment on myself. I'll let you do that. Easter's coming, so I thought I'll do something topical. I'll talk about my people killing Christ. Except that the Pope has recently absolved Jews of all blame for that. And I'm thinking, Jesus, you've had 1,981 years to do this, and yet you pick now. Thanks. Thanks so much. So I have recently just returned to the ranks of the taxpayer. Oh. Yeah. Also, I've got my own place. I'm not sleeping on people's floors anymore. I can afford luxuries like a bed. But for a while I was on the dole, and I didn't have a home and stuff. And this all started in 2009, or the spring, summer, autumn, and winter of discontent, as it's also known, where I had a breakdown. Background, but I've got the laugh now. So, and part of what actually kind of made me recover was just kind of really realising that I had control over my life again, and I had choice in everything that I did. Even choosing not to choose was a choice, and it was all very empowering and wonderful. So even at the job centre, you have choice. I mean, if you've gone for a certain amount of time and you haven't managed to get a job based on, say, for example, your skills, your training, something you have any fucking clue how to do, there's a very simple choice. It's take the first shit job that comes along or be euthanized. So I'm at the job centre, and I'm sitting there in front of my advisor, and at this point I'm stage 3 unemployed. And so I'm like, that sounds like a life-threatening illness in its advanced stages, or it's like the unemployed equivalent of being a grand wizard. And so fine. And my advisor, bless her, bless that woman, has put up with so much for me, and she's like, I found you 2 jobs. It's great. I think we've cracked it. I'm like, oh yes, okay. And I'm really excited at this point, because being on the dole isn't fun, and no one actually does it out of choice. That's actually a lie that you might have heard. So she, I'm going to turn the page now so I can refer. Excuse me. So she's like, I'm okay, right, hit me with it. She's like, okay, first one I found you. Superstore Santa Claus in Hounslow. And I'm like, okay. Alright, we can work with that. We can work out. Second one, male Muslim cleric. And she genuinely looks confused as to why I'm confused, and I'm like, there's this, I have, as I think we probably all have, there's no such thing as a job for life anymore, right? You basically, you do what you can to get by, and you're a jack of all trades, rubbish at some, So I've had a number of jobs. I've been a medical photographer. I've been a street fundraiser, which is horrible. If you see a street fundraiser, don't be horrible to them. Give them a hug. That is really what they need. So I worked on the docks for a while to pay my rent as a cleaner, not a prostitute. just to be fair. But the job that people are most interested in I've had is pornographer. And so I shared this with someone once, and they went, "Oh, pornographer. So did you make porn or did you watch it?" And I'm like, I made it because if you just watch it, you're a wanker. There's nothing wrong with that, But let's not get our crotchless panties in a twist over the definition of it, basically. So it was a pretty mad time for me. Now I made niche narrative hardcore porn. Now no one needs to really worry about what that means, other than the fact that it's a lot more difficult to get made, because not only do you have to worry about people who can have sex on camera, you also need to worry about people who can actually act. Now I'm not talking about acting as in a malfunctioning white goods storyline. I mean, just to give you an example, my boss once sat production down and as preparation for a film, made us watch 2001: A Space Odyssey. And you're just, and so that's the kind of thing that you work with. And the most useful thing he ever said to me was, shoot what turns you on, because if you're not turned on, people will know, and they'll find out about it. But the thing is about doing that is that one day you have to shoot something that doesn't turn you on at all. And then what turns you on has to change. So the goalposts move. Not only do they move, they get spanked and painted black and become the gates to somewhere really, really awful. You look at a fucking kettle and be like, oh. Anyway, I've been Yoshki Greenberg. You've been patient. Thank you.